The NAKBA, which means the catastrophe, marks the beginning of the ethnic cleansing of Palestine in 1948. Thousands of Palestinians were killed and tens of thousands expelled from their homeland. This was Palestine before the British Mandate. Jewish people made up 8% of the population. Then came the Balfour Declaration. In 1917, Britain pledged to establish a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. More Zionist settlers started arriving from Europe. By the mid-40s, Zionist militias started carrying out attacks on Palestinians and British authorities. That includes the bombing of the British administrative headquarters at the King David Hotel, killing 91 people. And by 1947, this was Palestine. On May 14, 1948, the British Mandate ended and the State of Israel was created. Zionist military forces captured 78% of historic Palestine and expelled 750,000 Palestinians from their homes and lands. As fighting spread, entire Palestinian communities were ethnically cleansed. Many thought they would return within days, but Palestinians were pushed into refugee camps in the occupied East Jerusalem and the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and neighboring countries. At least 6 million refugees are registered in these areas. Most Palestinians became stateless refugees. And Zionist leaders at that time openly called for their expulsion, such as David Ben-Gurion, who later became the prime minister. But it was not only displacements. Village after village disappeared from the map. Between 1947 and 1949, Zionist military forces attacked major Palestinian cities and destroyed some 530 villages. Others were repopulated. And Zionist militias killed about 15,000 Palestinians. But many families carried documents, photographs, and keys to homes they were forced to leave behind, passing them down through generations.
All right, in a moment we'll go live to Gaza City, but first let's speak to Nida Ibrahim, who joins us live from Tul Karim in the occupied West Bank. Nida, tell us about the significance of where you are and how displaced Palestinians there remember this day.
I am standing in Tul Karim, overlooking the Tul Karim refugee camp. And the street here behind me did not exist before the Israelis started their military assault in the camp. This is a result of demolitions of homes that continued since the Israeli forces assaulted the camp in early 2025, forcibly displacing all of its residents, creating new neighborhoods in an attempt to change the choreography and the symbolism that these refugees represent. We are seeing how cramped they are, how close people live to one another. These are people who have been displaced from their homes in 1948, and they've decided to stay here as a reminder of the right of return, as a reminder that they're here to stay. They refuse to forget where they came from. But even that right is being denied to them by the Israeli forces. Even their temporary homes are now being demolished by the Israeli soldiers who are stationing inside these 3 refugee camps here in the occupied West Bank, where the Palestinians say that this is yet another reminder, another living symbol of NAKBA. NAKBA is still ongoing because of these acts. The main goal or the main symbol or the main Israeli attempt in 1948 was to expel as many Palestinians as possible. And people here would tell you that this expulsion, this displacement continues day in and day out.
Nida, as you said, Palestinians face now near daily Israeli raids and settler attacks since that war on Gaza started in 2023. So what is the situation today?
Well, the situation keeps getting worse every single day. When we talk about the Israeli settler attacks, it's hard to count how many of these each day happen in different areas all across the occupied West Bank. These are armed settlers, emboldened with the impunity, with the fact that they evade any accountability from the Israeli authorities. In fact, the people here would tell you that this is the Israeli system's arm. This is the Israeli regime's way of displacing more and more Palestinians from their homes, using settler violence as a way to intimidate people and get them to leave their homes altogether. When we talk about these settler attacks, we're not just talking about the stealing of sheep from Palestinians, but also we go to the stealing of homes, burning them, as well as mosques, religious places. In addition to these settlers, not just kicking Palestinians from their lands, but also killing them, also intimidating them. All of that is happening under one umbrella: displacement and the fact that it's been 78 years of NAKBA and not since NAKBA.
Nida Ibrahim joining us live from the occupied West Bank. Thank you. Let's go now to Hani Mahmoud, who joins us from Gaza City. A majority, Hani, of Palestinians who live in Gaza are descendants of the refugees from 1948. How are they feeling about this anniversary?
And I just happened to run in the street just the nearby store, and this one old man who recognized us from in front of the camera, and this is what he said: make sure to say that the NAKBA or the catastrophe never truly ended from the time it started. And judging from the wrinkles on his face, he's probably lived through NAKBA. He's old enough to remember everything, and that's the reality of the majority of everyone across the Gaza Strip. The NAKBA carries a very significant impact here. The vast majority of the population across the Gaza Strip are either refugees or they are descendants of refugees, people who were forced out of their homes in what later became the state of Israel. That happened by way of population transfer or ethnic cleansing of many of the Palestinians. The parallel is very stark here. What people lived through in the past 2 years and a half, the displacement, the repeated forced movement, the displacement, the ongoing bombardment that eventually led to the clearing up much of the area across the Gaza Strip. For example, the so-called Yellow Line, now covering 64% of the total area of the Gaza Strip and cornering everyone else in smaller areas right here. We're talking about 8 major neighborhoods across the Strip are now empty, without residents whatsoever, including a whole city in the southern part of the Strip, the city of Rafah, and another city in the northern part of the Strip, the city of Beit Hanun. So there is deep frustration, there is a profound pain of what's happening as these issues have never been resolved and continue to unfold in the worst scenario possible.
All right, Hani, thank you. Hani Mahmoud joining us live from Gaza City.